In this video, I want to show you how I use Web Content Studio to not only find theme words and phrases for a search term that I want to target, but also give me ideas about what I can write in the content as well. The term I've chosen to target on my site is How to Root Samsung Note 9, and it's a good title for an article. Now, rooting a phone, I don't really want to go into it, but it's essentially a way of hacking the phone to give you access to the Android operating system code. It's very similar to jailbreaking an iPhone, if you've heard of that. It's also quite a dangerous thing to do because you could end up bricking your phone and your phone doesn't work. So people are searching for information on how to root their phones in a safe way that isn't going to leave them with a useless paperweight. So the first thing I do when I start any new article, I've just created a new article and called it How to Root Samsung Note 9. And I've now got the editor where I can actually write the article as well. But what we're interested here is the keyword tab. And on the keyword tab, I'm going to paste in the phrase. I'm going to use the one-click spider method. That means that the spider does all the work. It goes out to the top 10 pages, it collects the theme words, it sorts them, it puts them into sort of order of importance, and then it will report back once it's done all of its things. I'm going to click the one-click spider, and the spider then goes away, it downloads the web pages, and it will then analyze those web pages as well. So I'm going to just pause the video until it's complete. When the one-click spider finishes, you'll get this LSI keyword screen, which has the one-word phrases and the two or more word phrases down on the right hand side. The number next to them is the number of pages in the top 10 that word appeared on. So Android, as expected, appeared on 10 of the top 10 pages, as did device, Galaxy, install, note, phone, root, Samsung. All of those are the really important single words that you need to include. But we've also got theme phrases as well. For example, we've got install TWRP recovery was found on 6 of the top 10 pages. Well, rooting the phone doesn't always require TWRP, so that wouldn't be expected on all of them, but it is still an important way of doing it. Root Samsung Galaxy appears on 8 of the top 10, so it's quite important. Why didn't it appear on all 10? Well, because not every web page is going to use the exact same order of words. What we can do here very quickly, we can have a look at the Lsi Cloud, and this is just an image that shows you the theme words and phrases, so you can get an overview. On the left hand side are the one words, and on the right hand side are the two or more word phrases. You can see the bigger words jump out at you. These are the more common ones like root, download, Samsung Galaxy, note, device, battery, install, fix. We've got customize, transfer, SuperSue, that's an app that can be used, firmware, and so on. And then over on the phrases, we've got things like recovery mode, click root, download mode, system recovery, Android phone, root your Samsung, data eraser, factory reset, install TWRP recovery, root Galaxy Note, and so on. We've just got these phrases. So it's actually found the theme words and phrases. We'd have to go through and filter them a little bit, pick out the ones that we don't want. Some of these down here maybe that are only appearing on 3 or more or 4 or more of the top 10 pages. Maybe we don't need them, maybe they're not quite as important. But what I like to do, as well as gathering these theme words and phrases, is also have a look at some of the other information about these pages. So we've got the titles of the top 10 pages, which can give us ideas on creating a title for ourselves. And looking at those titles, there are a couple of things there that really stick out. One is that phrase, safely root. We've also got one-click root, so that implies it's going to be very easy. You click once and it roots your phone for you. Safely root is one of the most important things. And you can see down here as well, they've got without data loss. So these are the things that people are actually worried about. Again, we've got safely root down here as well. And then at the end, we've got these that are relying on the TWRP to root the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. The HTML tags, the H1, H2s and H3s often give us good information as well. These basically list the top 10 pages, and on the page number 1 you can see page number 1 had all of these as H1 headers. Not great website design and not great SEO, but there you go. All of the others had one, with the exception of page 7, that had 2 H1 headers. H1 headers are typically the ones that the webmaster thinks are the most important in terms of SEO, so we can get an idea of what keywords they think are important here. And again, we've got the word safely root up there. We've got safely down here as well. So clearly this idea of doing it safely and without data loss is important for us to consider in our article as well. If we have a look at the H2s, these are usually more frequent on pages because people use a lot more H2s and then H3s as headers for sections. We can have a little look down these. This one here has the phrase pretty much, these two here have the phrase pretty much as an H2 header. And then we've got safely root Samsung Galaxy Note 9 again. That word about safety and doing it safely without losing data. We've got something down here. Look, we've got advantages or benefits of rooting, the cons of rooting. These are bits of information that we might want to include in our own article as well. And you can see this page 6, that's web page 6 out of the 10 in Google. We can have a look and see that there are actually 3 methods on here, and then a 4th method using something called install Magisk, which I'm assuming is some software. Again, these are good for us to know because we can go and have a look at these and include those sorts of methods in our own article as well. Another reference to safely there, and then the TWRP and Magisk. So those are clearly 2 different ways of, or it may be the same. TWRP and Magisk might be used together here. I don't know. And we can go down and see what else is there in the H2s, and then on to the H3s, just to have a quick look as well. Okay, risks, that's definitely something that we need to cover in an article about this. We've got prerequisites before you try to root, and it says here the device must not be RMM locked. I have no idea what that is. And then we've got a section on how to install the TWRP recovery, and then how to root using the TWRP. So some of these would act as good references to us in our own article to make sure we've got everything right as well. And another problem quite often with rooting phones is you can get caught in a boot loop, and that is addressed in that article as well, how to fix the Galaxy Note 9 boot loop problem. Again, we've got another section down here on prerequisites, so that is certainly a section that we'd want that word safely again. And we've got a section here on recovery products, transfer products, and this one has a lot more H3 headers. Step 1, step 2, step 3. That might be a good approach to doing this. Write your article as this is how you do it. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. So all the time we're getting great ideas on what we can include in our own article. Android data recovery, fix Android issues. Don't know whether those are applicable to the phrase that we want to write about. And then we've got this step 1, step 2 again being used for the TWRP. And then down the bottom again, we've got the TWRP. We've got prerequisites again. And then we've got an installation guide using Odin. Odin is some software you have on your computer as well. And also, what does rooting mean? Great to have a definition of rooting in an article about rooting. The advantages, we saw that before, the pros and the cons. And then we've got the guide to rooting and so on. These other ones here, bold, italic and item lists, aren't usually very useful. You can have a quick flick through. Item list tends to have quite a lot of stuff in there because people actually have item lists that they don't even know are item lists in HTML code. But the important ones for me are H1, H2 and H3. And if we want to go and have a look, let's say there was one there, wasn't there? Was it page 6 that had something interesting on the H2? Okay, here it is. For example, if you want to see what you mean by root, that's on page 6. I can easily find page 6 by looking at the last harvested URLs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is it on techdroidtips.com. I could go there and I could get the information I need for that. But that's how I would use this tool to find theme words and phrases, and then also give me ideas about what I can include in my content to make it the most comprehensive and the best article on how to root Samsung Note 9.